Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows, their new Star Wars movies and such, that are going to either be in both live action or animated form for the TV shows on Disney Plus at least. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things on there from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So we're now in a very interesting and exciting phase for Star Wars. We are just a little over 1 week away from the official release of the Book of Boba Fett series. That's going to run all the way until early 2022. Before that ends, then we get the marketing run for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series before it launches in May. Then after that, we have the Bad Batch, Andor, and the Mandalorian Season 3. So 2022 is going to be quite an exciting and busy year, not just for Disney as a company, but also for the Star Wars fans, to engage in all of this new content that's coming out for the next 12 months. So, with that being said, of course, what's really intriguing has everything to do with the fact of what George, John, and Dave have been up to behind the scenes. We already know that they have over a dozen Star Wars projects that they are working on that are going to be announced at Celebration 2022. As long as Celebration hopefully does not get cancelled, May is going to be a big month because not only will the Kenobi series launch during that month, but also we got Star Wars Celebration. So you have two big surprises coming our way for May of 2022. Now, with that being said, however, we do know that George Lucas, behind the scenes, working very close with John and Dave, have actually been making a lot of changes to the Star Wars lore, and especially a lot of different shifts to the Skywalker saga, in a sense, that we're going to actually dive into today. So, with that being said, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars projects like Star Wars Ahsoka and Kenobi, both John and Dave are getting ready to begin filming the Ahsoka series in early 2022, and are also getting closer to wrapping The Mandalorian Season 3 right around the same time. However, it's described that creator George Lucas recently changed the Skywalker saga in a massive way that is going to take fans by surprise, that will be unveiled officially in the new Disney canon material for 2022. Further, it's described that what Jon Favreau recently did, for starters, for the story of Anakin Skywalker with George Lucas, is described to involve the story of Emperor Palpatine in an unexpected way for the fandom. Now, further, it's noted that recently George Lucas created a big side story that will be told in 2022, that it was indeed both Palpatine and Darth Plagueis that created Anakin Skywalker from the very beginning. This is said to also involve the spirit of Plagueis that guides Palpatine on how to do the unthinkable, with Shmi Skywalker for Anakin Skywalker to be born with dark side tendencies. Now let me just stop right here for 1 second, because this is just a small piece of what they are currently crafting to change to the Skywalker saga. This one in particular is obviously inspired from what was shown in the Star Wars Vader comics. I don't know if you guys actually checked them out. There is a Vader issue where Vader enters the spiritual realm, and there's a moment in time in which he actually sees a vision. He actually visualizes a vision in front of his own eyes of Shmi Skywalker with Palpatine behind her back, initiating the birth of Anakin within her womb. That is a very interesting turn of events, to be quite honest, and I can absolutely say with absolute certainty here that that's exactly where George and John got it from. There's no doubt about it. Now, moving on from all of this, alright? Further, it said that Lucas always wanted to create more secrets to be unveiled for Anakin's backstory, and how he was connected to the dark side in the long run. Lucas is set to make it that it was Palpatine and Plagueis that allowed the midichlorians to have such a high count in Anakin's body, to be told by Qui-Gon in Episode 1 as well. This was all Palpatine and Plagueis' doing, where additionally George Lucas is also set to actually make something even more surprising canon, that it was Palpatine's plan all along to guide Anakin to loving Padme Amidala. This is described to have been orchestrated by Palpatine in new ways that will be explained in the new canon, and how it was his plan all along to plant the seed of love in Anakin Skywalker, to create a fear of losing such an emotion through his wife Padme. And now let me just say something about this. This, I feel, what George and John are crafting is a masterpiece. The fact that they are having Palpatine and the spirit of Plagueis orchestrating the, whole love factor between Anakin and Padme, and how that's going to be used against him later on in the movies, that's amazing. I like the fact that they're really kind of trying to mix in this deeper material that's going to make you view Revenge of the Sith in a far different light. We already know that it was always highly implied that Palpatine was the one who killed Padme at the very end of Episode 3, but this is something that's to a new level. The fact that Palpatine orchestrated both Anakin and Padme to not only meet, but to also fall in love later in life, in order for Padme, of course, to eventually die, and how that affects Anakin Skywalker, you can only imagine, what's going to really be told in this new canon material. So further down the road, Lucas is described to be very excited to make in this canon in Star Wars, and realizes that some fans may not like these ideas, which is why he is spending great time with Favreau and Filoni on making these new Star Wars lore aspects well written and implemented into the Star Wars franchise. Additionally, George Lucas will also be making big adjustments to the sequel trilogy movies as well, that have to do with new lore for Palpatine that will be unveiled in 2022 also. Now further down the road as well, essentially Lucas wants to freshen up the backstory of Anakin and wants to create new twists in both the canon lore, as well as these new facts being mentioned in the new upcoming Star Wars TV shows. Surprisingly, all of these new secrets of Anakin will be mentioned by Ahsoka Tano in the Ahsoka series when she learns something crucial from the Wills, who are godlike creatures that now, of course, everyone and everything, of course, are going to be labeled as they are the ones who created the Star Wars galaxy. They are the ones that know everyone and everything, with Lucas's ideas coming to life in the Ahsoka series. For 2022, they will be highlighted in new lore, and will later be done in 2023 for Ahsoka. So further beyond all of this, Lucas is said to be playing it safe and taking his time on the attention to details of these new decisions, given that he knows that this may very well be a controversial decision among some of the Star Wars fans out there. Now, I gotta say one thing about this. The fact that they are going to be mentioning all of this in 2023 in live action form, where the Wills communicate with Ahsoka Tano and tell her all about Anakin Skywalker essentially being the creation of Emperor Palpatine and Plagueis, and how the entire romance between himself and Padme was essentially the foundation to the fall of Anakin Skywalker that was also orchestrated by Palpatine and Plagueis. Again, what George Lucas is doing is that Palpatine essentially lived on after Palpatine struck him down in his sleep. His spirit lived on and guided Palpatine throughout his life. And that to me is very interesting. It makes you wonder, maybe Palpatine destroyed Plagueis for different reasons than we know. That's going to be made canon. It could very well be that maybe Palpatine wanted to release his spirit so that he could do incredible different things, or learn new types of dark side abilities for all we know. Or it could have very well been for Palpatine to convince himself that Plagueis was not lying about the essence transfer technique, and that spirits are possible and are actually able to extract from a body after death. Now, I think that's a very interesting way to really have things go about by George, the fact that he is changing Anakin's backstory a bit, and how it's really going to take a big toll on the Skywalker saga in what seems to be a more positive sense, at least to me. I don't know about you guys, but this seems to kind of add more fun details to Anakin's story and exactly how he came to be. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.